Hey guys.
Hey, Brother Murdoch. Long time, long time.
I know. How's your sleep schedule?
It's good now. I quit that job. I'm going to do ziplining.
Oh, awesome. You gonna work this summer?
Yeah, for the month and a half, I guess.
That's awesome. That sounds like a really fun job.
I did it before my mission. And then a buddy I have works there. And so he took us out for free. And I was like, I got to work again. This place is way too fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good job.
Yeah.
Do they have as many visitors this season as usual, or is it a lot less?
Mm, it wasn't as much, but obviously, like it was closed for a little bit. But now it's really busy just because it's summer and there's a lot of precautions that they take.
Okay. Hey, Brother Miller,
Hey guys,
how's it going?
pretty good.
Good.
How's everybody else? It's
I got
ready
my
to
cereal.
finish up.
Josh Rattel was just telling me his plans to work doing zipline, working at a zipline place this summer. So
All right, that does sound fun.
All I'm saying is if you guys come up, I can take you out for free.
how far of a drive is it from Rexburg, Josh?
It's like 8 hours. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. People all the time will be like, oh, you live like way close, don't you? Like, nope.
Is Coeur d'Alene in the very, very skinniest part of the state at the top? Or is it like right about to that point?
It's about to that point, kind of. But it's in there.
I was telling Josh the other day that when I was a kid, we went to this summer camp called Camp Easton in Coeur d'Alene, and for Boy Scouts, and it was really fun.
This is the best.
Well, I think we're ready. Do we know who has the verifying thought today?
Checking.
Okay.
Looks like nobody.
Okay. I can do it, or you can, Brother Miller, or we can get a volunteer, which would be even better.
Does anyone have one that they've thought of recently that you think would be applicable? I do have one that's come to mind to me this morning, but I'd rather defer to the students. Think about it for a second and we'll say a prayer. And then if anybody thinks of one, speak up.
Sounds good. Can I get someone to say the prayer this morning, please?
I can say the prayer.
Thank you, Zivia.
Our dear, most gracious, loving Heavenly Father, we that children about this beautiful morning, thanks for all the blessings that Thou hast given us. And as we have come to the final part of the class where we are preparing ourselves to learn more and to give our final exam, help us so that we may be able to understand and give us the strength and protection and guidance always, and give us a good knowledge and memory power that we may be able to understand and learn, and that we may be able to remember everything that we learn. And we thank you for the wonderful professors that Thou hast given us, so that we may be able to learn and grow. And please bless all of the students. And we ask our blessings to be upon us always. And we love thee so very much. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Thank you, Zibia.
I got a thought.
Go for it.
I know I just did one, but this just came to me over the week. We had a bunch of family over, did a lot of activities. It was awesome. But there was one day, okay, preface this by saying, obviously, I love my mom and she's amazing and she can do no wrong. But there was one day we were going to go do something with the rest of the family, and she was getting ready, and she just like looked at me and my dad, and she's like, does this like whatever she was wearing, she's like, does this look good? Do I look good? And it's just like, my initial reaction was like, of course you do. Like, one, you're my mom, so obviously you look good. Two, you're not a slob. You take care of yourself. Like, yeah, you look good. It's fine. But she asked again. She asked a couple of times. She was just really worried about that. And that's something that I try and work on a lot, is just not caring really what people say about me, whether it's good or bad. Because I feel like when we care so much about what other people think, instead of looking at what's actually true, we get mixed up in what other people are or what other people are saying about us. And there's this element of fear that comes into our lives. I know that was with my mom. She was worried, like, how will people look at me? And so for me, maybe this is bad, but I like to think it's good. Just always being a good person and trusting that when I have the Spirit, I'm doing what's right. And I don't need to worry about what other people are thinking about me, what other people say, good or bad. I don't need to worry about that. It's not productive for me, because for me, it just, fear enters my life when I worry about that. So instead, what I try and do is just make sure that I feel the Spirit, and I trust that when I feel the Spirit, then the Lord is looking at me. He's pleased with me, and that's all that really matters. I'm not awesome at it. I'm trying to work better at it, but it's just that idea of, what's that verse? It's in D&C, when Joseph Smith, he goes to the Lord about the pages that got lost, and the Lord said something like, you feared man more than you feared me. I forget exactly what verse that is, but that's kind of the principle that I try and base this off of, is good or bad, you accept it. You're not, like, if someone says something nice about you, you say thanks, but you don't let it get you prideful. And if someone says anything bad about you, just check it with God. Like, is that right? If it's not, don't worry about it. Just kind of putting what he thinks about you more important than what everyone else thinks about you. And for me, that's helped a lot, getting rid of fear. It's a little bit of a weird thing that I do, but it helps me a lot to get rid of fear. Just don't worry about it. And I say the name, just get them in.
Amen. If I could just tack onto that, I've pondered this one a lot, actually, Josh. So I think you're right, and I agree. And then I think of like messages like, let me throw some secular references out there. The Greatest Showman, the song "This Is Me," which is a fantastic song about accepting others and yourself. And then there's the Disney Frozen, Let It Go. You know, I think about those messages, and I think there is good to those, kind of along the lines you're saying, but there's also a danger if you're out of balance on those. Because I think if you're rebellious in that attitude, then it almost becomes a rebellious attitude, not only toward other people, but toward God too, where it's, you know what, this is who I am and I'm not going to change. And we're all able to change. If we believe that this is who we are and that no one can change, and that we need to accept each other exactly the way we are, or the way I am, and accept me the way I am, I'm never going to change, then we're denying the atonement of Christ and the purpose of this earth. But you're right that there is a beauty. I mean, again, I love that song, This Is Me, but there is a balance, I think, that's required in that type of an attitude of, you know what, I'm not going to shame myself. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to let people shame me, or I'm not going to give in to the adversary's shame telling me that I'm nothing. But at the same time, I can change and I should try to change. And so there's just this interesting balance. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's totally right. And so, yeah, for me, I try and think about, like, is this a good thing, and do I still have the spirit with it? And I kind of use that as my my primitive way of using this principle so far.
It's a good question. I mean, are we prideful in that attitude, in a sense? You know, because again, it's just, I think there's a balance to it. I actually have a thought that I wrote about this. I'm just going to post it and let you guys, if you want to read it, go ahead. If not, that's cool. Any other thoughts from anybody else?
I think in my 171 class last week, a student shared the scripture in the Doctrine and Covenants about virtue garnishing your thoughts unceasingly, and then shall your confidence wax strong in the presence of God. And we were talking about confidence and how confidence depends on who you're with a lot of the time. It feels like when we're in certain groups, our confidence is lower for whatever reason. And why is that? And then we were talking about how when our confidence is strong in God's presence, then it actually can strengthen our confidence in any circle that we're in. And I think that's probably the gist of the message here is if we are confident with God, then nothing else matters.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's helped me a lot in my life with confidence. So that's been a blessing to me to learn that principle, because there's so many different groups that seek to make you want their approval. It can be challenging to know whose approval is important and whose isn't. Well, this has been a fun class with you guys, and it's going to be sad when I don't get to meet with you every other day. I did hear a couple things from students that I'd like to go over, housekeeping stuff, and then any other questions. One was on the final due date. I changed it, and we can change it again, but I changed it to the 22nd. It was set for today, and I didn't think that was the right date. Brother Miller, do you feel like the 22nd should be adjusted?
So I think if I remember correctly, it was set to open today, but then there was a week to do it.
Okay, so it should be due the 20th.
So that I don't know. I thought that was the intent, was just to let them, if they wanted to, do it early, so it wouldn't stack up with other things. But then you can wait till the 22nd if you want to.
You're okay with it being turned in as late as the 22nd, but they could do it as soon as today.
That's kind of what I was thinking, or sometime this week. If I mean, there's no pressure to get it done. So,
right.
So that's sometime this week. I think just having it open during this week would be beneficial for them to have the option. But I don't want you to rush to take it. So
yeah, I think it's visible now. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me just double check.
It is accessible. And it'd be
Okay.
really nice if it wasn't due the 22nd, but like open all week simply because it's due the 22nd. I have 5 exams that day.
Should we make it due on a week from today? What's the thought there?
I think as long as it's open, that kind of gives everyone room to do it within their schedule.
So it could be done anytime up until the 22nd. You don't have to do it the 22nd, but I can change it so it can't be done on the 22nd if you guys want
that
me
works
to.
for me.
What's that?
I was just saying that works for me.
How it is right now works? Or
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I can open it and take it. So
Shoot,
Okay.
I'll
works
probably
for me
just do
also.
it today.
Yeah.
okay. Cool. All right. And the other thing was the book. I heard from someone that the online book was not accessible. I went into Safari and it worked for me. So I'd like to know how you guys are getting to the book and then if that method is still working for you or not, so we can get that resolved.
Yeah, because you will need the book for the final. So if I would, regardless of whether you're taking the final today or tomorrow or next week, you should be checking to make sure you can get to that online book, and we need to figure that out if you can't.
Yeah, I can put the link in here that I was using. Here it is. And I'll put this in the chat.
Yeah, the book is working for me as well.
Okay.
But I think there was a case maybe like a week ago or something that I had trouble accessing the book for some reason.
Okay. If that happens again to anyone, please message me or Brother Miller so we can help you guys with it.
What I had to do is that I just created a different account in order to have access to the book.
So it's the book. So the previous account was unable to access it for some reason?
Yeah, the previous account, like it says that my password or either the username was wrong, so I had to create a different one, like a new one.
So one thing that I've done, yeah, Austin.
I got in.
Okay, awesome.
What I did was I went to the syllabus and then I clicked on the Safari link, and then there's another link that says just to log in. You just use your school email and then you put in your 2-factor verification like you normally do, and then yeah, just got right in, no problem.
Okay. Did you click on use single sign-on, Austin? Do you remember?
Yeah, so when you see the login screen, you'll see the email and like the password. I typed in the email and then it immediately switched over to, it got rid of that password field. It just said the single click on, what'd you say, the single something?
Single sign-on?
Yeah, and I clicked that and then it took me to the BYUI certification page that you all should know how to get into. And then, yeah, and then I got in.
Okay. Great. I will send an announcement with the book link as well. And then if you guys have any issues getting in, just let us know. Any other questions for this week or next week? I don't know if we'll have class next week. Do we plan on having class next week?
So how about for the final exam? What does final exam have about? So we have an idea kind of what do we kind of expect? Is like questions or is like
It's I think it's cumulative for all the subjects of the chapters you've read thus far in the class.
okay, so the exam is pretty much like from the book, right? Quiz from the book. Okay.
Brother Miller, do you have anything to add there?
Nope, it's similar to the quizzes.
Okay. And does it have a time limit?
120 minutes.
Okay, so it's timed. Okay.
Yeah.
Says here there's no time limit.
Huh. let's see, I'm on the final exam.
Yeah, it does say no time limit. It's 120 points. It says no time limit.
Okay. Points
Yeah.
better than minutes. That's
Yeah.
better even. Cool.
So yeah, because this class is in Flex, whether or not that's a complete comprehensive test to cover your experience here is questionable. Probably not. It's not, because we're making changes. The technology is changing so fast. We've made changes to this class. Ideally, we would like to, when we've solidified all the extra labs and the technology that we're having you do, we'd like to incorporate some of those into the final as well. But right now it's just based on the book, because that's the way the class was before we started injecting all this fun stuff. So
yeah, I agree. Okay, good.
I do like the fun stuff though.
Cool.
Me too.
We like the fun stuff too. I'm glad you guys like it. So any other comments? One thing I wanted to note as well is that with the quick labs, if you're doing any catch-up work, if you've struggled getting it done in the time limit, please contact me. We have other options for doing the lab that do not have a time limit. Quick Labs itself doesn't allow you to turn that off. I've contacted them and there's no way to do that. But what you can do is you can go into the CIT 262 project in Google Cloud and follow the same steps, and then screenshot your results and send them to us through the quiz. So that's an option. And if any of you are feeling the time limit is keeping you from finishing, please do that. And if you have questions, contact me. Any other thoughts about this week or next week or finals, anything else? Okay, well, today we are going to do some more fun stuff. There is an opportunity for us to actually help a real project. So I think a few of you have heard of, or most of you have heard from a few members of the Constellation project team have visited us in class, and they are working on a website that showcases student portfolios. They actually do need our help right now. And I wonder, Josh Rattel, if you'd be willing to explain the requirement that we have just at a high level.
Yeah. Okay. So we love talking about the Constellation webpage, and we really want you guys to be a part of it. But what we're doing, you want me to tell them what we're going to do right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about automated testing in the class, and with automated testing, at least for me, when I heard it in the class, it definitely, it wasn't what I thought it would be, really. So what it is it's us writing a script in, I think we're going to do Visual Studios. Is that right?
Yeah, Visual Studio Code.
Visual Studio Code. So you write a script and you put it in Visual Studio Code and you run it with, what would you call it? Like a language or?
We run it with NPM.
Yeah.
For Node Package Manager.
It's like a little extension thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that does is it allows us to check the website and it'll run the test that we scripted, that we wrote. And so today what we needed was, I think Brother Murdoch, he was saying we're going to split into 5 different tests. And what these tests will be able to, once they're written and we've deployed them, we'll be able to just kind of press that button and it'll check what we're looking at. And that's really, really nice because it allows us to very easily, very quickly see what is working and what's not working. And so it's helpful, and we'd love it if you guys helped.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. Thank you, Josh, for giving that overview. I'm going to share my screen and also share a document. with you guys. So these are called, these are the tasks that we need help with. And I'm gonna make sure that this is open to all of you guys. File share. See, anyone with this link can view. Anyone with this link can change. So if you are logged in with your BYUI account in Google Drive, you can modify this. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have each of the 5 groups claim one of these tasks. So let me explain what they mean. So we have a GitHub repository right now, and this is it. And the link to that repository is in the first 2 tasks. So if you choose one of the first 2 tasks, you will be actually modifying this repository. It doesn't mean you'll need to know how to do the code by yourself. I will help you with it, just so you know. So those 2 teams will get my help. And your job will be to add a test that does this. So the first one is create a user. The second one is get projects. So if we look at the website, what that means is if we go to this website, this is the Constellation website. If you were to click on the hamburger menu, we call it that because it kind of looks like a hamburger, and then click on projects, that means that's what we're talking about when we say get projects. So here you can see there are no projects, but if there was one, so say I were to create a project, I have to log in, and then it shows up, then we're saying write a test that goes and pulls all of these projects, and I can show you how to do that if you want to be the one to do that. The next one, number 1, is create a user. And that's an automated test that would be going in here and saying sign up. And in the sign up screen, we're going to create a user with an email and a password and click register. So those are the 2 tests that we're talking about, automating those functions. So if your team is interested in one of those 2, then go ahead and put your team name next to this. So if it was me and I was team 6, I would just go like this. That would claim that task. Now, the last 3 have more to do with the automation in the pipeline itself in Cloud Build, which you've all worked with previously. So what that entails is going into another cloud or another GitHub repository. And excuse me, I'm just pulling up the code here. Where is the, well, I will just put this link here. And this is the one you're going to use for the last 3 tasks. So you're going to go into this GitHub project and you are going to update the corresponding file. So if you chose task 3, you would go into the Cloud Build dev YAML file and update that file to actually run the tests that are in this project. So those are the tasks, and you will get help if you're on one of these 3 teams as well. So we're going to expect the first few minutes here to be a little bit of brainstorming, because I did not give you every single step-by-step instruction of what to click and what to change and what to save like we've done in the past. This takes a little more high-level, high-order thinking, creative problem-solving skills, and collaboration. So what I'd like to do is first determine who the product managers are going to be this round. So if you haven't been a product manager before, you are eligible to be the product manager for your team. And you will be helping to decide how you're going to carry out your task and maybe what your task is going to be. So can I get someone who hasn't been a product manager from group 1? You can think about it while we move on to group 2. Can I get a volunteer from group 2? Do you guys remember what groups you're in? I don't know.
I know I'm in group 5.
Okay. Let's go ahead and show you what groups you're in. Maybe that'll help. So group 1 is Austin, Ty, John, and Gunther. Who of you have not been a product manager yet that would like to be?
I can be the product manager.
Thanks, Ty. Okay, team 2 is David, Nancy, Andrew, Laura, and Zibia. Who of you have not been product owner that would like to be it from that group? Most of you are here. Is Andrew? I don't think Lauren's here. Is Andrew here? I think he's. Andrew's not here. Okay, so it's going to be either David, Nancy, or Zibia, who hasn't done it yet.
I think all 3 have been a product owner, I guess. But I can be the once again. That's fine.
Has David done it before?
I don't know.
David, have you done product owner before for your team? How about Nancy? Have you done it before?
Yeah, I've done it before.
Okay. That sounds like Zibia's willing to go again, if you guys are okay with that. All right. Sounds good. Now, group 3, we have Josh Elliott, Josh Fulmer, Christian, and Weston. I believe Christian is not on the call today. Could I have one of you volunteer that hasn't had the chance yet to be the product manager for your team?
Have I been the project manager already?
I don't know, Josh, but I'm willing to sign you up if you're willing to do it.
If no one else wants to do it, I can do it.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Team 4, Ben Fromm, Preston Gunter, Chris Long, Robert McGuffin. Who'd like to be the product owner?
I can do it.
Great. Thank you, Robert. And team 5, Christian Cantarero, Ronaldo, Besmir, and Josh Rattel. Can I have a volunteer from that group? So again, it's Christian Cantarero, Ronaldo, Besmir, and Josh Rattel.
I've already done it. I think Ronaldo hasn't.
Hey, Ronaldo, are you willing to do this? Be the product manager for your team this time?
Yes.
Sweet. Thank you. Thanks for the nomination, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good. Okay, so what we need to do now is your team needs to pick a task. So if you are the product owner or manager, you can use your authority now to sign up in this document for one of these tasks. And it is going to be fun. So please choose one and put your team name next to it. Can we take the next 2 minutes and do that? While you're doing that, I'm going to look for something here. There we go.
I don't know about everyone else, but even with my BYU account, we don't have edit access.
To the document?
We can see it, we just can't edit it.
Okay, let's work on that. Thank you. File, share. Anyone at BYU? Oh yeah, you're right. Change, edit, done. Thanks for pointing that out, Josh Fulmer. Should work now. Okay, you've got about 30 seconds if you could get into that document. It's in the chat. And please sign your team up for something. I see a couple people working on it. We should have 5 people in here. We have about 2 right now. Thanks, Josh Elliott. Okay, thank you, Zibia.
It's not letting me edit it.
Are you logged in with your BYUI Google account, Robert?
Yes.
Okay. Which one did you want? And I'll put you down.
Just put us down for number 3, I guess.
Okay. And see, you are team 4. Thanks, Robert. So let's see, we have Zibia signing up for 1 for group 2. We have Josh signed up for 1 for group 3, I think. Yes, so we have team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4. So Ronaldo, are you guys okay with task number 5 for team 5?
Oh, yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think the next thing that we're going to need to do is kind of decide together on a plan of attack for this. So what we usually do in Scrum is we create something called acceptance criteria. That means, how do we know when we're done, basically? Okay. Some people call it the definition of done. You'll see that term in the book. So for each of these tasks, we want to have that defined so we know when you're finished with it, right? Does that make sense? So if we read the first one, Ty, if we read your task, could you read that task out loud for us?
Let's just add a create user automated test.
Good. What is your understanding of what that means? And if you don't know, that's okay.
So just once, just a user will be created, I guess. Is that
Yeah.
what you're looking for? Oh.
Yeah, that's awesome. And when will they be created? I guess maybe that's a question. When ... How about when the automated tests are run? How about that?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, let's go to team 2, or team 3 rather. So Josh Elliott, could you read your task out loud for us?
Add a Git project automated test.
Great. And what's your understanding of what that is? And if you don't know, that's okay.
Automate the Git project doing something.
Okay. Okay, good. Good.
Probably not the best explanation.
No, that's fine. So when we write an automated test, it's going to do something that a user would normally do. Usually bots don't run websites, right? Unless you're Google. Google has a bunch of bots that go out and run, they scrape websites and read them in and save them, and then you can go search for them, right? So Google uses tons of bots that run all over your website. We're just going to write a tiny, tiny little one that does the same thing Google does for one page of this project. And that is, it's going to go scrape this page, the projects page, this one. That's what that task is. So if you're picturing that in your mind, then let's add an acceptance criteria. How would you know when that's done, Josh Elliott?
When we got a bot that's scraping the website, I guess.
Okay. Cool. And so does that look good?
Looks good to me, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Awesome. How about, can I add one thing to it?
Yeah, I guess.
And if the website does not return any results, oh, well, that's not good. If the website does not come up, the test fails. How's that? Is that okay if I add that?
It's just adding more explanation to the first part. So yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was great. Okay, Robert, can you read your task out loud for us?
Is add automated test to the cloud build dev.yaml file.
Very good. What is your understanding of what that means?
That's a very good question. I guess it's just wanting us to test if that file is going to execute properly.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I'm going to write this test if the file executes properly. And are you talking about the test script when you say the file? Or something else?
I'm talking about the dev.yaml file specifically.
Okay. So when the dev YAML file runs, right now, I'll tell you what it does. It builds a Docker image, pushes the image, and then deploys the image to Kubernetes. Those are the three things that it does. So what do you think would be added to those three things when you're done? And if you don't know, that's okay.
I don't know.
That's fine. Okay, so right now we're building the image, pushing the image, deploying the image. Anyone want to help Robert out here? What are we adding now? We're brainstorming. This is totally fine what we're doing. This is how we do stuff.
We're just going to test it, see if it's up and going?
Yeah. Test if it, yeah, absolutely. Test if it's up. So what if we say test if the deployment is up, Chris? Does that capture what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. And since we're talking about the dev YAML, Robert, do you think do you think in our acceptance criteria we should be saying that test if the dev deployment is up? Or should it be more elaborate than that or different?
I don't know what exactly we do to make it more elaborate than that.
So what if we say the dev deployment is up? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel like this first part is needed?
No.
Okay. If you change your mind, you're free to add to it or ask me. I know you have some access things on this file, so just let me know or someone else. We can add to it. Thank you, Robert.
Cool.
Okay, and hold on. Did I add to the wrong one? Nope, that's right. Okay. And team 2, Zibia, can you read your task for us?
Add automated tasks to the cloud build test YAML file.
Thank you. What is your understanding of what that means?
I think as the before one is to we do Dockerfile, Kubernetes, and like the push thing. I think here we are testing it out if it's working. Maybe I'm
Good.
not sure.
Yeah. In which environment is it for yours, do you think?
Which environment? I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. So we have a cloud build dev file that pushes to our dev environment, and we have a cloud build test file. What environment would you guess it pushes to?
The cloud build test, maybe?
Yeah, so we call test as the environment for QA to test in.
Okay.
So what if we say test if the test environment deployment is up?
Okay.
Would that work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. If you have anything else, feel free to add it. Do you have any other things you want to be in there at this point?
For now, no.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Zibia.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo, could you read your task for us?
Yes. So add the automated tests to the cloud build test YML file. This is correct to do the test file.
You're right. That is not correct. It should say the prod YAML file.
Okay, now makes sense.
What do you think the acceptance criteria will be, Ronaldo?
So be sure that the server is up and running, healthy, and I can open the server and the service and see if the website is running as well.
Okay, good. And now your specific task here, is this a manual test that we're talking about in 5 or something else?
No, we can use one software to test it.
Okay. Okay. So is this acceptance criteria you're talking about, would this be in an automated fashion?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay, good. So what I would suggest now, we have about 10 minutes. I would suggest that everyone pull the code that they're going to be working on using Git. So the way you're going to do that is, depending what team you're on, there will be a different URL for you, and you'll want to go find that URL. So I'm going to pretend I'm working on group 1. Now you might not be working on group 1, you probably aren't. If you're on a different one, you'll go to the task for your team and find the GitHub URL. So in my case, I'm pretending I'm on group 1. So I'm going to click the GitHub URL for group 1. And here it is. So now I'm going to open it up. And there's a green button that says code. I'm going to click that button, and then I'm going to click this little clipboard. That's going to copy this URL for me. Does anyone have any questions so far? Is anybody stuck?
So I have a question.
Okay.
In my option here, I cannot see this code green button here.
Okay,
And
can you
the
share your
only
screen?
one, yes.
Great.
Supposed to be over here, right?
Okay, okay. So yeah, can you click on Constellation Web App to the left?
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you should have the button.
Okay. And then we should download all the project, right?
Yeah, you should clone it with Git.
Okay. Got it.
So do you mind if we keep going on your screen for a minute? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. Could you go ahead and copy the GitHub URL for this one?
Okay.
Thank you.
Over here.
Yes. And is anyone else stuck?
So I have a question.
Okay.
So as you said to click the URL for a specific task thing, but when I click it, it goes to a different page. Is that the right page, or should I just first go to this one?
When you click yours, what page does yours go to, Zibia?
It goes to like.
Is it a GitHub page? Can you share your screen actually?
Yeah, it is a GitHub page, but it says this page is not a web page you were looking for.
Oh.
Yeah, I can share it.
Great.
I share my screen.
Okay.
This is the page it takes me to.
Oh boy. Cloud build test.yaml. It doesn't like that one, does it? Okay. Thank you for showing us this one. We're going to need to fix that. So if we go back, Constellation Web App, Cloud Build. Okay, I know why. It should be, the file is called Cloud Build Stage. I've just updated it in the document.
Okay.
Do you want to try that one?
Okay, let me do it.
Cloud Build Test, it still says, doesn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
hold on one second. Okay, we'll fix this here. Okay, one more time, and I think it should work.
Okay. There we go. I guess this is the one.
This is the file, the specific file we're going to modify. And to clone it, you'll click on Constellation Web App. And then the green code, and then copy it. Excellent. Okay. So you've got it now copied. And now what we'll want to do is open VS Code.
Oh.
Perfect. Now, do you see your terminal at the bottom, Zibia?
Yeah.
Do you see the path that you're in? Can you see the folder path in the screen?
Yeah.
So you're in the Zibia page folder. So what you'll want to do is do cd space ... Okay, now you're in the downloads folder. Is this where you want us to put the code? Or would you rather put it in documents or something?
I've been doing in downloads, but I think I can change it to documents.
You can just do downloads still. That's fine too.
Okay, then that's good. Yeah.
Can you type Git Clone? And it's GIT space clone space, and then after the space, we'll paste that in. The one you copied from the website. Okay, perfect. And then enter. Now, what you'll notice is it's pulling all the code, but you won't see it right away because VS Code actually isn't aware of it. So after it's done downloading, there's going to be one more step before we see it in VS Code. Okay, good. So now to add it, we're going to go to the File menu on the upper left corner of the screen. It's at the very top. There's a blue VS Code icon and then the File menu to the right of it. Oh, I can draw on your screen. I always forget about that. Let me do that. Right there.
Where is that? Okay, I did not.
Is it red for you?
Oh, yeah, but then this Zoom thing has like, okay.
In the way?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I was not able to see it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, and then can you click Add Folder to Workspace?
Yeah.
Very good. And then see the Constellation Web App folder? Click that once and then click Add, please. Very good. Okay, now you will have the Constellation Web App in your project. There it is. So if you scroll down, it's there.
Did I click on
that? That's it.
Oh.
Nice job, Zibia. So this is what we're trying to accomplish for today. If you could follow the steps that Zibia's done. And if you're stuck, please speak up. That's what we're trying to finish by today, is cloning your code. Is anyone stuck that we can help? Thanks for sharing, Zibia. You don't have to share your screen anymore unless you want to.
Okay.
Is there a better way for cloning it to a specific folder besides just doing cd ... over and over until you get to where you want?
I think there probably is. I'm not the best with VS Code. I kind of just stumble around in it.
Okay.
I think there are some plugins for VS Code, and then there's also some other things that seem to be built into VS Code that make it easier to work with Git. I often just work from the command line because that's what I'm most comfortable with. As well, I find it to be universal. On any machine, I can do the same steps. That's why I usually use the command line. But there are usually some built-in UI things that make it easier to work with Git. And I know John Purvis uses that with GitHub, with VS Code. John, do you want to share how you interact with GitHub through VS Code?
Yeah, what specifically would you like me to share?
Can you just show on your screen how do you clone a new repository? Is it the steps we followed, or do you do something different?
So to clone, to my understanding, I just use the terminal because it's easiest, and then from there I can use the UI.
Okay, so you still clone from the terminal? Okay. That's what I was wondering. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so Wednesday we'll finish up on the tasks that we've started. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I actually do have another way if you wanted to see it for the Murdoch.
Sure.
This is the way when we were doing the automated testing. When I first downloaded the Constellation web app or Constellation tests repository, I'll show you. There's this little bar up here. How do I exit? So you just do Control-Shift-P, and then you do Git Clone, and then you just put in the repository.
Oh, cool.
I don't want it downloaded again because I already. Ooh, actually, I'll delete the repository and show you.
What did you click to get that bar? I don't have that bar.
Control-Shift-P.
Control-Shift-P, huh? Oh, there we go. On a Mac, it's Command-Shift-P. I should have guessed.
Oh, sorry.
And then did you say you find in the list Git Clone? Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. I'll delete these and hopefully it doesn't destroy stuff.
Okay. Okay. Nice. I like that. And then does it add it to VS Code at the same time, or?
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Does it add a folder on the left after you clone it?
Yeah, it does.
Nice.
There we go.
Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
I think it does. I just wanted to delete it so I could see again. Git clone, repository. Oh, and then you pick. Is that what it was? Yeah. Okay, so this is what it is. Forgot about this. So you do Control-Shift-P.
Okay.
You do Git clone. You put in the URL. You can choose where you want to save it. And here we go.
Let's see. Yes, I got it. I got it. So yeah, so it lets you choose. And then does it add that to the view as well? Or do you have to tell it to?
To the view on the left?
Yeah.
Yeah, it added it automatically.
Okay.
So I saved it into the folder that I already had open.
Okay.
There was, so right after you clone it in the bottom right, there was a prompt asking if you wanted to add it to the current workspace or to open a whole new window and add it in its own thing. So if you have a workspace already open, it's going to add all those files to that work folder.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Robert.
Yeah, no problem.
This is cool. I like this.
Yeah, I need to do it again because I deleted the test file. Oops. So Robert, you said it was just down at the bottom left or bottom right? Down here?
I think Robert left.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. Well, anyways.
Yeah, that's great. This is a lot, I think it's a lot easier, more intuitive. The problem we had is a lot of times VS Code opens you up into a project. So when you clone, it actually clones your project inside of another project, which is really bad.
Oh, yeah.
So this is way better than that. Cool. I think that went well. Thanks, Josh Rattel, for introducing that.
Yeah. Is there anything you want me to look over before Wednesday?
Yeah, if you're able to, I can help you if you have time now or another time, like tomorrow after stand up or during lab hours tomorrow. But if you could work on that, getting Postman to where there's another request for getting projects, that would help a lot when we get to Wednesday.
I'm free right now if you wanted to do that.
Cool. Okay. And then did anyone else have something they wanted to ask or a question?
I just wanted to ask if, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had nothing, so it's all yours.
Okay.
Oh, just about next class, about cybersecurity.
Yeah.
I'm totally ready for introducing servers.
Awesome.
But I was wondering if I could skip out on the network port part because
Sure.
I don't think I'd explained that well enough.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine.
Okay.
That would be great.
Cool. Well, I'll see you in a bit.
Thanks a lot, Josh. See you later.
Take care.
How about Benjamin? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Is there anything I could help you with today?
Not today.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah. So the next thing, Josh Rattel, I think we just need to add a get request to that Postman project.
Okay. Hey, actually, too, I missed the part you were talking about the book.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. So
No.
it's still not working for me.
What link are you using? Is it the same one I posted or a different one?
I just used the link you posted.
Okay, and what does it do?
It does the same thing. Before I would just Google it, and now it's doing the same thing. I'll show you.
Okay.
Oops. Sure. So I click the link, it goes here, and then click on chapter 1. And then down here it says my trial membership has ended.
Okay, trial membership. Interesting. Can you log out for a second of this website?
Was this the problem?
I think you'll have to go into the website again, and I think there's a place you can click to log out.
Okay. Where?
So if you just click the link again.
Yeah, I was trying to find the chat button.
Oh, got it. Yeah, when you're sharing your screen, it's really hard to find.
Okay, so share screen.
Okay, now on the left, there's a sign out.
Oh, here we go.
And then if you click on sign, hold on, put in your BYUI. Yeah. Okay, and then click sign in with single sign-on.
Oh, here we go.
There, do that. You should have a permanent subscription while you're a student. There shouldn't be a trial involved.
Okay.
And now if you click the link, now that you're logged in, you should have full access to the book.
Come on, chat.
You find it?
Almost.
I get that anytime I'm sharing my screen, I have the same issue.
Here we go. Great. Thank you so much.
You're absolutely welcome.
Okay. Well, now that that's fixed, Postman.
Okay, so we have a user collection. Now I would suggest creating a new collection for projects. Yeah. And then in projects, add a request. And then we could call it get projects. Cool. So, okay, so it defaulted to a get. You'll notice that on the left.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a URL, so we're going to need that.
Do you think we'll just want to use the dev?
Yeah, for now. Okay, there's your URL. Okay, now you can save it. Okay, you want to try running it? Okay, what did we get? We got a 200. Good. Now, one thing I'm a little kind of wondering about is if the database is down,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if you still end up getting a 200. Because I've noticed this website gives a lot of 200s when I wouldn't expect one. And it's just the way it works because it always gives you a page. So the page is going to come back with a 200. So it's almost like we want to look for certain things in here and see if they're there or not. So what if we bring the database down right now temporarily and hit that page again and see what happens? Would that sound fun to you?
Sure. Let's break stuff.
All right. All right. I can quickly do that. 1 second.
Hey, John, when are you going to join us on Constellation? We need you.
Yeah.
Don't know yet. Mostly just here to watch and learn.
John, when are you going to join Constellation? We need you.
I don't know.
Not the answer I wanted, John.
Maybe when my plate's less full.
I feel that. You can always just join, and then, like this last week, I felt bad. I probably should have told Ryan, but I just kind of disappeared, which wasn't the best. But you can always join, and then, like, when you have a second, pop in.
Yep, you're always welcome, John.
Maybe I'll talk to you later about it. Get more.
Love it.
I brought the database down.
Oh, cool. Okay, let me run this again. How did you do that, by the way?
I can show you if you want.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing.
Show us how to take things down.
Yeah, let's break it.
I'm just here to learn anything and everything, so.
Oh, you took the pods out.
So I came over here and said, kubectl get pods. Now I'm in the Cloud Shell, so I click that first. Then I'm looking for the dev database. So it's SQL Server dev. So if you look up here, there was one running. So then I said scale deploy SQL Server dev -- replicas equals 0, which means there's none running. So now the database is down. If we want to bring it back up, we do equals 1 and then enter, and it'll bring it back up.
That it's disappeared, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm learning about this. There's different ways of doing Kubernetes. There's stateful sets, deployments, and replica sets. And they're all very similar. In my last job, we used replica sets. In that case, you would still see it here, but it would say 0. But with a stateful set or a deployment, it just disappears.
Oh, geez.
So you can say kubectl get deployments like this, and then you'll see, you see the dev with 0 of 0. So if you want to scale the deployment, you say kubectl scale deploy SQL Server dev -- replicas equals 1.
Okay, cool. And now it's back to 1.
Again, there it's back.
So are the options only 0 and 1? Or for instance, if you put replicas equal to 2, would it create 2 instances?
So it depends. With the web pods, you can have as many as you want. With the database, it's a little trickier. We haven't built our database to do true database clustering. if we built it that way, you could have as many pods of that as you want as well. It's just not set up for it yet.
Okay.
You could tell it to do it, but it would freak out because right now it's just not set up for it. But if you were to do Constellation prod stage or Constellation web, you could do replicas equals 5 and it would set it to 5. I mean, you could do it right now. kubectl scale deploy Constellation prod. That's just replicas equals 3. Let's try that. There you go, 3. And then if you say kubectl get pods, and you see 3 of them.
Okay.
And you know why the load balancer is important? It's because of this. Because there's 3 of them. So the load balancer makes it magic. Now when you go to the website and you go to constellation.citwdd.net, every time you hit it, you're hitting the load balancer and it's saying, let me see which pod gets that one. Let me see which pod gets that one. Let me see which pod gets that one. And then all the pods are happy because they're all staying busy. That's why load balancers are important.
How many pods do you think a website like Facebook has?
Yeah.
A ton.
Well, how many servers does Facebook have? Let's see, 30,000 servers.
Oh my gosh.
And within those servers, I'm guessing each one has 100 or so containers. So we're probably talking about 3 million pods or containers.
Jeez.
And I'm assuming those are spread out across the globe, not just in one like data center.
Yes, absolutely. There's one in Riverton, Utah, or Harriman, something like that. I applied to work there a long time ago. And there's some in Oregon. There are some in California. I don't know where all of them are.
I feel like there are a lot of people who work in social media don't have that social media because they know what goes on backstage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Oh, hey, by the way, we got a 500.
Sweet.
It didn't work. Yes.
Wait, now right now it's not giving you 500 though, is it?
No, I haven't run it since. I'll run it again
perfect.
though.
Well, that's good. So we want to know what happens. So there's a 500 when the database is down, and that's really what we were looking for, is to test if the database was up or not.
I got like 200.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. So we just need to remember that a 200 is good and a 500 is bad. And that should be good for when we write the test.
Sweet. Do you want to finish this tomorrow then?
Yeah, so I think that Postman request is done.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty easy, huh?
Yeah.
If that's what you're asking about. And then, are you on one of the teams that's doing the writing the actual test, or are you working on one of the teams that's doing the cloud build script?
I'm doing cloud build script for production.
Okay.
I'm doing the test.
Oh, sweet. Which test do you have, John?
We're group 1, so we're building users.
Okay.
Lucky duck.
So we need to get your team added to Postman, the Postman team that we're just looking at. So I can do that real quick.
Yeah, and then I was looking at through the files, and there's one that says to like set up NPM and stuff.
Yes.
Should I go ahead and do that, or?
Yes, you should.
Okay, then you might want to run me through how it works, because I get lost when it says then cd to the folder. Does it mean the folder containing npm or the folder that's Constellation tests?
The one that's Constellation tests.
Okay, because when I try and do that, it says npm isn't a thing, even though it's installed.
Okay, and you're in VS Code, and the VS Code was open before you installed npm, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll want to close VS Code and then open it again.
Okay.
I should add that step to the instructions.
Might be useful. Oh, yep, there we go.
Okay, I updated those instructions.
All right, well, I got a pass on the run.
Good. So that one is just testing if the website is up. If you want us to force it down again, we can do that and you can see what it does. It's kind of fun. Do you want me to force it down?
Sure, I'm assuming it'll go pass fail or test fail.
Yeah. Scale, deploy. Well, I'm kind of curious now. Dev.
Oh, is this just the test that you made last week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it should fail now, I think. I brought the database down again. Run it again.
Destroy.
Still passed. I'll run it again.
Interesting. You know why?
I think it's because it's running off of, because I cloned it, so it might be running off my clone rather than the actual.
So if you go to the URL, John, there's a URL in your code. Do you see it in the test file?
The raw test?
Yep, I think so.
Yep, still there.
So if you open that, that goes to the home page.
Yep.
And that home page is actually up and running. Now, but if you were to click on the hamburger menu and go to projects, then you'll get an error.
Oh, maybe I need to minimize, make it smaller. Yeah, because there was no hamburger menu.
Okay.
Projects, okay. All right.
Did it fail on the UI?
Yeah, it says an unhandled exception occurred.
Okay, so why did your test pass? That's the question.
Well, if it's running user.test.javascript, it's only testing to see if the main page is up.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So the test that we need to add is going to create a user. And do you think it can do that if the database is down?
I would imagine not, because it has nowhere to store the user.
That's right. So if we try and do that when the database is down, we're going to get an error.
All right.
So that's the next task, is to create that other test. And we'll do that on Wednesday.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much.
Because I
no
should
problem.
let you get to your lunch.
Yeah, sounds good. I already ate, but I'm going to go on a walk. I don't exercise enough lately.
Same.
Good job, guys. See ya.
Thanks.
Hey, see ya. Thanks so much.